Namaskar. I am indeed privileged to be attending virtually the 12th Indian Tanker Shipping and Trade Summit 2026, and I am grateful for this opportunity to the organizers, Captain Mishra specifically, and the Shipping Tribune. There are certain specific flags that I wanted to leave behind with all the stakeholders and the eminent personalities from the maritime domain who are attending this forum. The first is that the Maritime Administration has come out with age norms, where extension has been provided for existing vessels regardless of their age, and they shall be allowed to operate till the 31st of March 2029. This was to counter the negative impact on Indian tonnage and to ensure a strategic fleet replacement and renewal strategy which the ship owners in the Indian flag can plan accordingly. The specific emphasis, as we all know, for Indian maritime is for maritime safety and for safe operations in tankers. And this is where we are laying emphasis on crewing correctly, training the crew properly, on which I shall subsequently elaborate. We have had 5 landmark legislations in the Merchant Shipping Act 2025 where the entire emphasis on maritime safety specifically for tanker operations is shifting from a reactive compliance to a proactive risk-based governance. This needs to be underlined and reiterated so that all stakeholders take part on the same. From the Directorate General of Shipping, which is now transforming itself into the Directorate General of Maritime Administration, we are seeking international partnerships for capacity augmentation and for standardization in skilling and competencies for watchkeeping specifically on tankers. 2 international organizations which have observer status in the Intertanko and OCIMP with the IMO, which are prominent independent tanker owner associations globally recognized, are partnering under a specific memorandum of understanding with the Directorate General of Shipping. We are working on SIRE 2.0, we are working on tanker management and self-assessment, the TMSA, and also the OVID for offshore. The idea is to work on the singular concept of behavioral competency and mapping that to safe operations on board tankers and crude carriers. One specific aspect which is of critical importance to Indian maritime, and with the huge amount of bulk cargo movement, both in terms of liquid, crude and also chemical and product, is of an emergency response framework in the event of a maritime casualty, primarily to salvage what we can of the vessel and also to ensure that major environmental damage isn't done. We have come out with standard SOPs, and presently the focus is on having the substantially interested state, wherever we have Indian seafarers operating globally, are ensuring an effective salvage hub on the east and west coast to ensure emergency response. This initiative, we request all the stakeholders to partner because it will involve multiple stakeholders in the emergency response. The first responders, the NOS DCP, then the coastal state plans, also having support from the Maritime Development Fund, and to come out with reiterations on the ecosystem that we will establish for salvage hubs and for providing other services for environmental protection and for salvage as mentioned. One specific issue which is important is of the sustainability index. We intended to couple it with the age norms, however we have dissociated that, and this relates to increasing the operational efficiency of vessels as also looking at the environmental complexes compliances under the Annex 6 of the MARPOL and also the efficiency frameworks that have basically been standardized under the IMO regulatory and compliance frameworks. I would want to flag one very critical and significant aspect of the maritime progressive engagement under the Maritime India Vision and the Amritkal Vision 2047. That of transforming India's shipbuilding, specifically for the tanker segments too. A total of 437 vessels, a cumulative of close to 20 million gross tonnage is being envisaged only by way of demand aggregation for PSUs, of which 59 vessels, close to an investment of $5.35 billion, is being done for oil and gas carriers. The Shipping Corporation of India is going to lead by almost infusing close to 300 vessels under a 5-year action plan launched by the Honorable Prime Minister. Of course, you have the Green Tug Transition Program and also the special class vessels of dredgers under the Dredger Corporation of India. A total cumulative investment of 430 plus vessels amounting to close to $25 billion is what domestic demand aggregation is, and this is to be amplified by the entire tonnage revamp that we anticipate the private sector will bring in with the immense support under the SBFS and the SBDS for the yards. I am grateful for this opportunity and I regret my virtual address to you. I do look forward keenly to participating physically and to interact with all of you. My eminent colleague, Captain Ravi Sikarwarji, is going to represent the office of the DG Shipping and also ensure that whatever specific inputs are there are factored into our action and statutory regulatory frameworks to ensure ease of doing business and also to address any concerns you may have on the regulatory or compliance frameworks. Wishing you the very best as we start the year and requesting your partnership in a progressive support towards nation building in the maritime sector, specifically for oil, crude and gas tanker operations and for value addition to the national economy. I do not need to reiterate that India is as on date energy insecure. The more we have our own vessels to transport our crude and products, the more energy secure strategically we become. All of you as the stakeholders will contribute richly to nation building, and that is what I leave you with. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Jai Hind.